Krystal, what are you taking a look at?
Well, guys, global elites are attending the annual World Economic Forum in Davos this week. This is actually the first time since COVID when the event will return to its full-size scope and normal timing. But there's a sense that for the world's billionaire class, the gathering isn't quite what it used to be. The number of global leaders attending has thinned. Previously prevalent Russian oligarchs have been purged. Chinese billionaires dramatically reduced by COVID-0 policies. In fact, many of the world's billionaires have seen their wealth take a hit from rising interest rates and a declining stock market. Back in 2018, 6 out of 7 G7 leaders actually attended this annual confab. This year, only 1 will be in attendance. That's Germany's Olaf Scholz. He'll be the lonely head of state representing the world's wealthiest nations. But most importantly, the worldview that Davos elites had arrogantly espoused for years and years has taken a huge hit. Now listen, there's a lot of wild conspiracy theories about Davos, but the most devastating Davos conspiracy is right out in the open. A bunch of wealthy and powerful elites coming together to whitewash their own crimes with fake care for the world, while studiously avoiding discussing anything that might actually implicate them in the problems they are pretending to care about, and carefully avoiding discussion of the way they could actually solve the problems they are pretending to care about. Dutch historian Rutger Bregman put it pretty succinctly back in 2019.
This is my first time at Davos, and I find it quite a bewildering experience, to be honest. I mean, 1,500 private jets have flown in here to hear Sir David Attenborough speak about, how we're wrecking the planet. And I hear people talk in the language of participation and justice and equality and transparency. But then, almost no one raises the real issue of tax avoidance, right? And of the rich just not paying their fair share. It feels like I'm at a firefighters conference and no one's allowed to speak about water. This is not rocket science. We can talk for a very long time about all these stupid philanthropy schemes. We can invite Bono once more, but come on, we gotta be talking about taxes. Yeah, exactly. That's it, taxes, taxes, taxes. All the rest is bullshit, in my opinion.
That man is a hero, but let's be honest, those panels, they're mostly for show. The real work happens on the side, where billionaires and world leaders, they meet in secret to ink deals and plan how to continue hoarding resources and maintaining a status quo, which has created hunger, homelessness, wars, and the very climate crisis that they concern troll most over. Just to be clear here, the crisis is real. They're concerned about it, decidedly not. Now, the Davos ideology is neoliberalism distilled to its purest essence. Markets are all good and all-knowing. The elite class is wealthy and powerful because they won out in a grand competition we call the meritocracy. Therefore, they deserve to be dictating the conditions of the world from literally on high in the mountains. Government is the problem, and rich philanthropists, they're the answer, at least for the problems of the masses. Government is great when it can be captured to subsidize the wealth of the oligarch class. Perhaps never before has this worldview been more thoroughly repudiated. After all, 2022 was the year that the McDonald's theory of peace at the core of neoliberal foreign policy was shown conclusively to be complete bunk. This theory held that any nation incorporated enough into the global trading system to have a McDonald's would not want to go to war with other Big Mac consuming nations. Now, I know it sounds ridiculous. People really believe this crap. And more to the point, the theory was that these nations would meld into the Western model of capitalism and liberal governance. This is a theory with Russia, and this was the theory with China. Wrong and wrong again. Russia invaded Ukraine and has now been largely cut off from that global trading system, McDonald's and all. China used our trade liberalization to game the system for their own benefit and has forged their own model of state-led capitalism and their own form of debt-driven imperialism through the Belt and Road Initiative. They surveyed the wreckage that American-style capitalism brought to other nations and said, no thanks, we're going to go our own way. At the same time, the pandemic, with its despair, unemployment, and death for millions, while billionaires floated safely on yachts and saw their unfathomable wealth balloon even further, that all served to, we'll say, heighten the contradictions of the neoliberal system. When the economy was falling off a cliff and the stock market was reaching record heights, it was really laid bare just how fake and rigged this entire system really is. When taxpayers funded life-saving vaccines only to see big pharma profit to the tune of billions, hoard patents, and price gouge the entire world, it exposed that free markets may not be the all-knowing marvelous forces we had been led to believe. When our supply chain seized up, leading to shortages of everything from gloves and masks to toilet paper to baby formula, we realized that globalization had funneled fortunes into the pockets of the few while creating an incredibly fragile system with shortages, price increases, and pain for all the rest. The inflation we're suffering through today is the continued devastating hangover from this particular hard lesson. So what does Davos man have to say about any of this? Well, this year, the number of Gulf billionaires attending has ballooned thanks to record-breaking oil profits. Are they going to welcome these new masters of the universe in for their feigned concern about the climate crisis? Are they going to voice deep concern for human rights violations by Russia, even as they celebrate these tycoons who have made fortunes from some of the most repressive regimes in the entire world? Are the billionaire bankers that the U.S. sends in droves going to tell us about how the only way to counter inflation is by forcing the masses into unemployment? This week, we'll get to see how the global elite are spinning all of these developments and many more. And according to the absolute ghouls over at McKinsey Consulting, a strategic partner of the World Economic Forum, because of course they are, apparently this year is actually set to be the biggest Davos attendance in history. And this fact hints at another important lesson of our time. The Davos ethos might be vanquished, but somehow it still dominates the world. Always look forward to these little gatherings, Sagar. See what the lords of the universe have to tell. Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now, and Sagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us, and if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.